say trying because I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Right, I know I want a running character to start with. We'll have some idle poses and stuff later, but this is going to be the direction. Like, my character's going to be leaning forward and all this kind of running stuff. So I'm putting in some notes, I guess, of the kind of shape that I think I'll likely see, and just some suggestions of that. Let's just make sure that is transparent. It's a bit of a big brush. Okay, so I'm just switching between the brush and the eraser using B and E, and kind of just taking some notes now. I know I've got this ninjet character, and I'm not going to settle for the first thing that I do. I'm not going to pressure myself into getting things right from the first attempt, or first, go. I'm just going to keep on refining stuff as time goes by, because a lot of stuff is subject to planning, and you can use the same canvas for the planning as the final thing. And just thinking about shapes right now is important. What do I see from this angle, and how much of the back do I see, much of the front do I see, how's the silhouette broken up, where's the arm? So this is a female protagonist, and I want her to hold a weapon. I might also want different weapons at some point, so I might just keep the weapon out for now, and I can always draw that in later, or some sort of layer, or I don't know. I'll just pretend she doesn't have a weapon right now. Right, so I'm going to draw in silhouette to start with. It's only pixels, they can be erased, they can be replaced. I'm not going to pressure myself into doing it imperfect from the start. I just need to make sure that I'm in the right position here. I feel like I could maybe move there a bit, just to be sure that when she stands I'm going to lose anything space wise. I've gone for 64 by 64 pixel square resolution. And I just want to define the hair a bit better. I want to give it that old school sort of sprite look, but I don't want to make it look too detailed. That's what I'm getting at. So much for that being about a running motion. Now it's like a stance because of this arm. So I just need to think about this arm going down here and like that, and something wrong here. The head's too big. You notice when I do certain things with the feet, it starts to all look a bit weird. That's better. like that. Now she has got the baggy sort of pants here. That's better as well. So it's just a case of making the changes and seeing it in your mind's eye, whether it looks good or not. Is it doing the right shape? Is there something that could be a different direction? I just need to try a few things. So I'm not being super fussy, I'm just being experimental right now and thinking about the grounded poses as well as the loose free poses. Let's try that. So I just want to add a frame now. So you can right click here and do duplicate cell, which I will do, and that means I've got the same. And if I erase anything, I should be able to see through it. Now you can go to the frame properties, sorry, this little thing here, and that will put the onion skinning on. They call it onion skinning because it's kind of see-through, like onion skin. Right, so I'm going to erase a bit there. Now I need to think this leg is now coming forward. So every frame in animation is kind of like a pose. And some movement drop as well there. And this leg can lift up. There we go, getting something there with the legs, which is good. Now I just need to make the arms do something. So if you've never really animated before, or if you have and you're watching this, if you've never animated before, you might not know where to start and what kind of shape to make, but the easiest thing to do is to stand up and actually make the poses, or watch some video in slow motion. Right, so that's really those two frames there. I might actually change some hotkeys just because I've got a couple of keyboard preferences. Oh. So let's see, previous frame, left arrow, could go to previous frame. I want to add A to that, and next frame is right, I want to add D to that because I just like A and D. Also eraser tool, erase quick. I wonder if I could do that as the right mouse button. No, it doesn't let me do that. Okay, anyway. A&D is not working. Try that again. I don't think I saved it under the next frame, add D, okay, previous frame, left, add A, Okay. Okay. There we go. It's just easier because my left hand's on the keyboard. Right, so another frame, so duplicate cell. And then this one's going to be down, so she's going to go up a wee bit, maybe to the right. Maybe just, yeah, like there. And then this leg is going to be on the ground. I really wish the right mouse button would be an eraser, but and then this leg is going to pass through. Animation can be fun. Sorry if the title of my stream's wrong. I'll fix it later. I don't have the same tools as I had before for that. Yeah, that, and then this. The thing about how fast the object moves as well, and it's going to cover a different distance, and that's something you get used to over time. Definitely get used to that distance. It's the more you animate and stuff. You can be really expressive with that. Like normally when people first animate, it's very stickman, rigid, and it looks just like boring. So I think we're good. The head is the only thing that will need a bit of work later, but I'll just do duplicate a frame. What the heck? Got my phone talking to me. Okay. Right, so 1, 2, 3, duplicate the frame. So Alt D, by the way, just in case. Right, then this leg is gonna be somewhere over here, and maybe just starting to come off the ground, so it's on the toes. I just need to erase it from there. And then this passing leg is coming right through. So it's still kind of like at a bend like that. I don't want it to flick out just yet, but something like that. Then this arm is gonna be further back, and the other arm we're gonna start to see that. I mean, this leg is now miles away from this one. So maybe I just need to push it a bit further. It almost looks like a good run cycle now, but it's not finishing that. It's swapping there like from that to that one. So I can kind of compare that now and think, okay, I might bring this one in a bit. I'm going to bring that in a bit. And then I'm going to, let's see, this one out a bit. Right, Okay, Alt D. Now I'm going to move it up a bit. I forget why, but I'm going to figure it out in a second. I just feel like I should lift it up a bit. Maybe because this leg's now on the ground or something. And this one's kind of pushed the body up off the ground. Yeah, that's why, because it's now up like that. Let's see what the arm is doing. So the right arm down, down, heading back, and then it's going to be fully back like that. Let's erase it from there. And then this arm is going to be much more prominent. It's almost there, just confusing it that bit. So let's see now. So we're doing Alt D again. Now this leg is gonna be on the ground. Let's see what we're doing there. So that forward, out, flicking down, and then it's gonna be on the ground. This character's gonna move up further because that leg is now on the ground. And I forget what my ground is, but these can all be fixed later. Yeah, it's just I want to get it rough in a silhouette form first, and then I can work on the little details. And if I want to hold that arm up there a wee bit longer, I just move it a little bit. So I'll just move it like a fraction down, and that kind of holds it there a bit. This animation might not look good when it's running, so it's almost ready for testing. Let's see, right leg down and then back. I think there's a frame missing somewhere. Let's see, frame 1, left leg, left leg, left leg, left leg, left leg, left leg. Okay, yeah, we need one more frame, I think, or two. Alt D. So yeah, we're trying to get from there to there. I think it's just kind of close. This is not my profession for sure, but I'm having a solid go at this. I do not profess in animation. Now I'm going to bring this arm down a bit more, and then this one can start to come back a bit like that, and then I think that's kind of it. It looks weird for some reason. What? So now that first frame doesn't make any sense, but let's see what this looks like. Yeah, like this is where people were like, I can't do animation. So, and you feel like all that work's in vain. So I'm just going to show you a different approach. Right, a different approach is always good. So I'm just going to delete all that. Right, doesn't matter. I've boobed it up. Right, doesn't matter. Not all is lost. Not all is in vain. Right, I just want to delete the actual frame. There we go. Delete the frame. Delete the frame. Right. So another good way to do this is to think about the footsteps. just the footsteps, right? And maybe, you know, just animating the legs or whatever. But if we do where the heel is gonna land, so imagine like that's the foot down and the heel's touching the ground there, right? And you can see this is like the contact sort of area, right? So you get a leg there and this one, so that one's just come down, so this one's bound to be in the air, right? So that's that, and then I'm just going to Alt D to duplicate the layer, and then the full foot is going to be on the ground, let's just say somewhere there. So I've got the whole base down, right? And I remember using this technique before and it worked out pretty good, right? So Alt D, and now do all four again, maybe three, like maybe a suggestion of it going up there, right? And then Alt D, it's like a little bit here, but kind of like just a pixel's worth because it's kind of like off the ground now, right? So I look at that as the contact, full contact on the ground, coming off a bit, and then it's ready to go into there. And I could carry on and just animate the foot going round, so I'll do that. I might as well do that. So I Alt D, and so that's now gonna be in the air. Let's do 1, 3, 4 like that. Maybe like that, right? Maybe a bit lower. Okay. And then Alt D. Let's go. In fact, I don't want to do Alt D, I'll just do that. Make sure my onion skin's on. There we go. Right, and so now the foot's kind of straight there. How do we add a blank frame? New empty frame. Alt B. Right, Alt B. And then the foot is, oh, the foot is kind of coming round. Alt B. And then kind of making its way to that upward contact with that frame there. So that's almost on target. So if I play that, turn the onion skin off, we can kind of see that trajectory of the right foot. Right, if we've got the right foot, we might as well do the other foot. So I'm going to use a different colour. I'll use red. Right, and I've got 8 frames. Right, so basically what's in frame 8 is going to be in frame 4 for the other foot. Right, so frame 4, I'm just going to put those in. Frame 8, frame 4, right? And then frame 5 is going to be what's in frame 1 for the other foot, right? So let's just look at that. Okay, right? And then frame 6 is frame 2. Let's just do that. Frame 7 will be frame 3. So copy that to frame 3. So there, I think. Yeah, and then frame 8, frame 4. Got that. Frame 5. Right, so let's see. Yeah, 5 is going to be 1 for this side. So 5, 6, 2, 6, 2. Oops, missed that a bit. 6, 2, 7, 3. So we're just missing the bit here. Doesn't have to be exact, but it does help for this stage just to get it working. So 8 with 4, I think, yeah. So this one's going to be over here. And then we go. So I'll play that. So there you can start to imagine the rest of the body kind of working with that. right? So now I could put in something else, like let's say the hips, right? So I'll just go for a different color. Let's imagine where the hips are. And the good thing is I've got all these frames, so it's a good starting point. So I'll just put the hips in and run a bit here. Right, I'll put that onion skin back on so I can see. So hips. And because this foot is directly on the ground, it's pushing the body up a bit. So I'll push it up a good couple of pixels. And then it looks like maybe a slight drop. And then let's see, just trying to think how high. I can always review this, so I'll just carry on if I'm not sure. I know that's a drop because when these are wide apart, the hips will drop a bit. It's like when you're standing tall, right, but your legs are kind of splayed, you get that kind of triangle, right? But you know, so it's easy to sort of work out whether it's going to drop. I think that's good, so turn off the onion skin and play that. See, there's a wee bit of a dump, so that looks weird, so I think it might be, it's going to erase that one. Yeah, there's something not quite right with that. What I could do is just erase a few that move. See if I can figure it out. Let's just take away all of these actually, because I'm not happy with those. Let's try that again. Let's go for a different color because I can't really see that blue. Let's do this. Let's do this one. Right. Think about this. So down. So that's going to be the tallest point. I just want to think about where I want the hips to be. Get the leg there. So somewhere here. Right. Okay. I'll put the onion skin back on. And I'll keep all the hips in the same place for now, right? Just for the sake of being able to see this, right? Oops. So let's try that and then play it. Turn that onion skin off. So now it feels very static in the hips, right? It needs to go up and down a bit, and it's likely going to go down when these are wide apart. So I'll move it down there. Oops. I really do wish I had a transparent colour here, but never mind. Right, see, that looks good, right? And then the drop, I think I'll drop it one more. That's fine. So we're down on frames 8 and 1, so I think we'll be down on frames 4 and 5. Yeah, 4. So 4 and 5, and erase that one and erase that one. So now we just get this basic up and down, right? So it might be enough. It feels a bit weak though, so maybe I could move it more. So like 4, 5. That's definitely an up one. So down, down. So like let's go one more down here. Erase that, and then this one. Bring that up a bit, and the same for the other side. So what would I do there? So frame 4 is here. So 8 will be there as well. And let's just make sure, yeah, something like that. So let's try that. It's really weird to look at because it's moving all the time. But it kind of does make sense. I think what would also be good is if it moved forward and back a bit, just give it that kind of push. So when this leg's kind of coming forward, it guess there's maybe some sort of push here, so I'll put it on this one. So I'll just erase a pixel, add a pixel, and the adjacent frame to that is 2, I think. Oh no, 3. Right, and erase a pixel, and then let's see how that looks. So there's a wee bit of kind of round sort of motion with it. It's hard to sort of judge because of the speed. I don't know if there's any speed control here. There's a bit of playback rate somewhere. Frame number, duration, maybe. I don't want to do that. I don't want to have to give things a duration. Can I not just do a... So it's constant, there we go, constant frame rate, duration. Let's do 50, so twice the speed. I think it coming back there doesn't work, so I'm just going to erase a pixel, add a pixel there, erase a pixel there. Let's actually do the same there, erase and add there. Yeah, okay. That looks better. Right, I need to make that slower now because that is too fast. Let's do 120 just to be slower than it was before. Right, cool. So now I need to do the same with the hands, and the hands is going to be the opposite of the leg. So when the leg is back, the hand for that side is forward. So I'll use black to denote the right side, so the right foot, the right hand. I'm just going to use a little square like that just to sort of denote where the hand would be. So that's back, and then the hand is somewhere here, somewhere here. So now that's as far forward as it can get, so I put the arm right back there, and I've used up my 4 frames, I think. Oh well, I can carry on through the whole 8 for the sequence and then copy over. So that goes there, there, maybe that should be there, and that feels like it should be higher. And then it's starting to come back to that point. And it can come back in a different fashion, like more of a kind of pierce through. So the swing and a pierce through, swing and a pierce through, as if you're cutting through the air. So this is something that you could really only imagine if you actually went out and ran for a bit. So you have to get up and sort of see the motion or analyze some videos. There we go, so that looks kind of good. And then I'm just going to make the red one the opposite. So let's see, when the foot is there, I'm going to be here. Okay, when the foot is straight, I'm going to be here. Even though we don't actually see the other side, I might as well just draw it in anyway. When that foot is flat with 1, it's here. Okay, when that one is 3 dashes, we're here. Done that one. Done that one, I think. What we've not done, the opposite of this one. This is getting confusing. It's the 1, 2, 3, 4. It should be here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ah, come on. 1. Is it here? Yeah. Right. Yeah, got that. And then opposite here. That's going to be up here with that is a dash down the bottom. I've done that one. What am I missing from here? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it. Right, so now it's hard to imagine because we constantly see this red square and it would be obscured by the body, so I'm thinking to make it kind of disappear here. So we'll say red's closer, far away. Say red's far away because darker things tend to feel more forward, like the more bold they are. So yeah, it seems a bit lighter, so I'll put that far away, and that means that you're not actually going to see it here. So I could make a little kind of checker point or whatever, just make it vanish. Especially here, maybe just a bit. Could do a bit there like that. That way it feels a bit better. So there we go, we get a kind of running thing happening. It will need a bit more work, but I'm going to put in the head now, so I'll just go for yellow and think about where the head's going to be. And the head is really good because you get that little kind of like chicken sort of, what do you call it, kind of bump forward as it gets to a certain animation. Certain frame of the animation, it will kind of like pop forward. But I'll work out what that is in a minute. I'll just put the head roughly where I want it. So remember this angle that I was going for. So you get the foot, the hips, and then the head. So let's find a good one here somewhere. So the head's just going to be a dash like that. Right, and then I'll put the onion skin on just so I can see what that is. Oh god, that's confusing. Oh. I'll just hold my cursor over it. Just move it a bit. Yeah. I'm just doing some random stuff there. Let's see how that looks. Yep, I kind of made that a bit broken. What I'll do is I'll do 2 frames to the right, 2 frames to the left. Just to see how that looks, like that kind of motion. It feels like it should be down here, so let's do the same for the other side. Down here, let's try that. Yeah, that's not too bad. Maybe back here, that one. So I'll do the same for the opposite side. I think I've got some motion in there, so let's see. So it's hard to visualize this without all the limbs and stuff, so I'll do a new layer so that I can place the limbs, and just in case I get them wrong, I don't want to erase my original mark. So let's see. I'm going to do the arms first because I think they make more sense. I'll just use line tool like that. So there's that arm. Think about where the elbow is. pretty cool. It looks pretty cool. So I do the leg on this side as well. Let's see. So we get the hips there, the leg. It might not be like the most accurate, but it's just getting that good guess right, getting the estimates right, and then it's a lot better than trying to draw the whole thing in one go like I did at the start, like planning this out, and then I can just use that as the template and use it for more than one project if it works. That would actually be the foot sort of like that, I think. You can kind of visualize it a bit better now. And I can see it slipping. There's a wee bit of slippage here. It's like something moves too quick. But I think that would be fine once it's in motion. That might actually work. This arm is swinging a lot. And yeah, this frame feels wrong. Just gonna erase some of that there. You just have to like analyze things and give yourself a good critical mind, like where the shoulder is here. It needs to be a bit more consistent. Look how much it moves up. Back to that line tool, actually, that was quite good, that one. And that is the start of it. So basically for the other arm, all I need to do is just draw the opposite. Now I know that like 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm on the opposite frame, so I can just look at that. I could probably just copy it and paste it and color it different, but I'll just hover over here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, that's where the shoulder is, but I only see some of it because the body would obscure it. Just draw the line and just do that in there. So next frame, what am I seeing here? A wee bit of the wrist probably on the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4. So a wee bit of the wrist because the body would obscure it. I'll just leave that transparent. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so let's do that one. We won't see at all. Let's do this one. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the shape, something like that. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's get a bit there. 1, 2, 4. You kind of just estimate most of it. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we get a bit of a downward. Like that. And that's pretty cool. And the same for the legs. I just need to do 1, 2, 3, 4 to see where that is. So it's starting there, somewhere to there, and in this case, the only thing it's going to obscure leg is the thickness of this leg and the bit of the butt, or whatever else might be there. But we'll just do a bit like that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and I can see that's fairly jagged. Do a wee bit there just to suggest where that goes. You see how knowing that ground is much better for like moving the body up and down and stuff. It just works out a bit nicer. Right, let's just do that last frame. It's a big long leg to there. Oh, there's one here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And there you go. So let's play that. It looks fairly good. There's a wee bit of slippage here. It feels like it slips a bit. And it feels like the head's stomping down with the foot. So there's a couple of things that, you know, I could kind of cross-analyze and fix. Like, so, and just think about how could I make that work a bit better. Like, I don't like this going back here, so I'm just gonna choose that color, erase it. Oh, I'm in the wrong layer, aren't I? So I'm just gonna choose that color and erase it from there. And I'll draw it in there because it's a wee bit too far. So I'm getting familiar with the whole posture and everything as well, so that actually helps when you look at things a lot. You start to see what will work. Let's try that. It says I kind of offset now. It's not rhythmic, it's not equal on each side, so the frames 1, 2, 3, 4 should be the same. 2, 3, 4, but there's a bit of it. Oh, I quite like the way that's gone round there. That's quite cool. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's the starting point. Then we're going to go up. Then we're going to go left. Then we're going to go down. Right. Then up. Then left. Then down. There we go. So that's nice and rhythmic. That works better. So now I can think of other things like the ponytail, right? How would that look? You know, where would that come from? When would it be kind of flapping up the way and down the way? So it's kind of generic, right? It's just going to do a kind of sequence like that. And then it's following the head, so it needs to come forward. I kind of want it to be similar to the last frame, but also have some sort of motion in there. And then the head goes slightly up, so that means this would kind of go down a wee bit. And I'm going back. So that could mean it could flap in a bit like that. And it goes down. So that would straighten that. And then we go forward, that would really straighten it and flick it up a bit. And we're going up. That's going to bring it down a bit. Back, that is going to make it tail in. And the good thing about this ponytail, it just needs to sort of have a kind of sequence once, because it's only one limb, right? It's like the head, don't need two sides. And there we go, so that looks pretty cool. So play that. Let's make it go a bit faster, so I'll go to the constant frame rate, let's change it to 80. And let's play. I'm going to make the grid a bit darker so I can see. So I've got preferences, the grid, colors, not the grid, what you call it, background, editor, theme, color, background, there we go. So I want to make that a bit darker, apply that, and this one a bit darker as well. Okay, let's see how that looks. Yeah, that looks pretty cool, right? I mean, considering that I'm not the most impressive animator, that's a good starting ground, and then you would make a new layer on top of that, right? And then you can build up your character. And I do suggest like using a kind of fill for each leg to start with. So you kind of have to build everything up in stages. You can't just nail it first time. Nobody can really do that. So I use this green blob for the thigh, and I know it's on the light blue one, so green blob in the thigh, and I'm starting to like make the volumes, right? Make the filled areas, and think about, is it being stretched or squashed, like that. And I do have some weird proportion changes here and there that can be refined. Just like everything else, I could spend weeks on this if I wanted, but there we go. That already looks nice, right? And then I could get like a darker green and do the other side, and really start to sort of map that in. And I've got like all my working here that I can use to work out where this is going to go roughly, and I'm just filling in the gaps of like how thick is this, is the muscle being stretched or compressed. When it compresses it gets fat and rounded, when it's stretched it gets long and like a sausage, I guess. And then here, just getting these thighs in is really satisfying. There we go, look at that. It's already feeling pretty good. Right, and then I could use different colour. Let's see, let's go for this kind of turquoisey green and do the upper arm here. And because I'm filling in that area, it's kind of helping hide my inaccuracy a bit, and I can kind of like fix things as I go here a bit. I don't need to erase it, I'm just drawing over. But I'm kind of thinking about how it matches each frame a bit better. That looks cool. So I don't really need one for that side, but maybe like a lower end colour. So I'll go for brown for the forearm here. Kind of looks like clothing, and then skin, which is kind of cool. And, I'm just giving it a bit of volume. And you can see where this is going. You build up, and then eventually you get to that point where you're doing shading. But this could take, several days to produce something good. So I'm going to go for a dark brown for the other forearm for this side. I'll just leave that blue in because that works well as a kind of darker form of that. I won't bother with the hand. Don't see it there. Only see the hand there. Yeah. Let's just leave a wee bit in. It's starting to look pretty cool. Let's do pink or something, or let's go for this purple colour for the lower leg here. So a bit of the calf muscle, and then a bit more straight in the front, and then like leaving the ankle quite thin is a good way to go. So a bit, there's your calf, and then like a straight line down is all that really needs. Gets quite thin down here, and then we've got a bit of compression there, so that'll get a bit more rounded. And I'm not worrying about any sort of niggly details right now. I'm just blocking this in, and yep, it's taking shape. It's starting to take shape. Let's play that. Can almost see the dust particles. That's how good it is, guys. So that's gonna wrap it up. I hope you enjoyed that tutorial. I'm gonna upload this to YouTube because it turned out pretty good, and I made the mistakes at the start that you saw, so you can make the same mistakes as me to begin with. But if you watch the whole video, you'll see how to fix that. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye for now.